Gandy Dancer came here again? Was it
2008 was the first year in Mazomanie.
2008. Okay. Okay. And so, we live here, just a stone's throw. We can hear it oftentimes.
Yeah, right.
But for several years, until somebody set me straight, I thought Gandy dancers were like cloggers.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you'd never expect it. Yeah, it's really kind of an unusual term. It first came to be...
Here's the question of the hour. Question of the hour is before our guest came on, or before our guest comes on, before he sat on the couch just this last week, and the one that we're going to play in just a short bit, did you know what a Gandy Dancer was? Had you heard?
I just remember the festival being downtown, and somebody had told me what it was at some point, so that was kind of cheating. But I did think it was somebody who danced. So I'm this ignorant. I don't know the clear difference. I didn't know the clear difference between a Gandy dancer, between a clogger. That's kind of what I thought they were. Is clogging also tap dancing?
I don't know. I don't know that much. And then the river dance. I mean, I know there's a difference, but I don't know. I can't describe the difference.
What about the Irish jig? Is that part of it too?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. And so that's why it was good to get one of those straight. And so coming up in our middle section in our interview, we're going to have the Gandy Dancer aficionado, Kenny MacMillan. He's going to be on the couch, and he's going to talk to us about the upcoming Gandy Dancer Festival in August here in Mazomanie, and tell you a little bit about Gandy dancers and all of the things about them, the history and
events
lots
coming
of other
up.
things that kind of interact with that. But before that, coming up on our 66th episode, that's this episode right now.
Just after the highlight fit reel plays of us.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it, the intro video.
We are going to have Mazomanie Site-Wise, get you up to date on all the things that are happening in Mazomanie. I mean, I'm talking, there's a lot going on, construction-wise, events-wise, all sorts of things like that. More than just this podcast. There's more going on in Mazo than just this. Hard to believe, because this is probably the biggest fish in the pond. Okay. And then we're going to have a little bit of Wisconsin Heights Weekly with Joe Bob, maybe.
Hopefully.
Because it's summer break. We'll see. And we're going to have the Adventures with Roy from Elroy, see what he's been up to. And then after Kenny MacMillan, we are going to have what, Hudson?
Name that state flag with Joe. It's been a little while, so get your
flag on.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you know what state it's going to be?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's probably good because you could study up on it.
I think it's going to be multiple flags, I think. I don't think it's just going to be one, is it? Or is it just one state flag?
I don't know. We'll have to see. You'll have to see.
Hey, this is Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. And this is the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast.
This is the 66th episode of the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast. Does your mind work this way? When I think of 66, I think of Ray Nitschke.
Oh, okay.
Hall of Famer, Green Bay Packers, kind of a famous guy when I was growing up. The famous Packers back in the 60s. 2 Super Bowls back to back. He was the middle linebacker. Any famous... Like a number that sticks in your mind? Maybe it's a jersey you guys had, or a number of years you've worked. You know what I mean?
So no longer 66, but just any number.
Any number, yeah. It doesn't have to be 66. I was just curious if there's a number that something comes up and you go, oh, maybe it's a sports star or something like that. Like I know Willie Mays is number 24. And there's a bunch of those. I could go on and
Jeff
on.
Gordon, 24.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jordan, 23, of course.
Yeah.
So
The
you
GOAT,
see 23.
the greatest,
Well, LeBron
the
James,
greatest
isn't he
basket-
23 too?
But he's
Or
not the
6.
greatest of all time.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Well, we're not going to have that fight here.
You don't need to.
Any numbers that just kind of stick out in your mind?
Wayne Gretzky, 99, just because that's like kind of a wild number.
Yeah.
Saying for
What was his nickname again?
the great one.
The great one. That's kind of
cliche.
Kind of cliche.
One person said.
Manny Ramirez, when he went to the
On top
Dodgers,
of
was
that,
number
though,
99.
on top of that, though, he was given that at like age 10.
Yeah, I know.
That was cliche
Yeah.
to Hudson.
Yeah.
At 10 years old, the great one.
They didn't know he was going to be that great.
He was
Well,
already.
I
At 10 years old.
thought for sure that people would jump right on
I mean,
that saying
4. Favre, I think.
4,
12.
12.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lynn Dickey,
What's your favorite number, Drew?
Packer.
What's my favorite number?
Yeah, if you had to pick one.
Out of all the numbers, what's your favorite number, Drew? And the next top number that you're voting for.
I mean, almost always have worn number 11.
There you go. There's your
Sticks.
favorite number.
They call you
You
Sticks.
were
Come
11.
on, Sticks.
I did in
Yeah.
football.
Hey,
I
You know
didn't
what a great
want to. I didn't
baseball
want to be
number
the
is?
quarterback, but they forced me
9.
to.
So people can call you Niner.
Al Kaline was number 9.
Yep.
Hall of
Also
Famer.
another reason we're
Detroit
number 9.
Tigers.
But you can say, come on, Niner.
I was number 11 at Baraboo basketball.
I know
Because that
that.
was the lowest number they had. That's the lowest number you have. It was. They didn't have any. I would have been number 3. Pick number 3, my lord.
Anyway,
Yep.
I just thought you guys would jump all over that when I said episode 66, Ray
No.
Nitschke, but it
Yeah.
just didn't. It didn't. We didn't quite.
Well, we are from different generations.
That's very true.
So
So we're
a
glad.
good thing too, right? Because you're the dad. And
Yeah,
it'd be
that-
awkward
that
if we were from the
doesn't
same generation.
Yeah, would be. But we're glad you're here. I'm Todd. Drew's next to me. Joe Bob at Information Central, and he has some gear on from a what was that? A giveaway at Wisconsin Heights back a
Basically,
few.
It was,
like a month ago.
it was during the
It was a give back, actually.
big Mazomanie, what
Better
do you
getting
call
paid
those?
for it.
Oh, you did?
Garage sales.
Garage sales, yeah. Hudson is our executive producer. Everything goes through him. He's the final say on every single thing that happens here. He's the brains. Not always the most creative. That's happens
Ouch.
typically on Monday and Tuesday.
Yep.
But
You gotta put all that energy into 1 or 2 days.
Yes,
you can't
you
just
do.
have it. You gotta corral that.
and John has the headphones on, and so that makes him the
Music
guy
mixer.
He's the magical mix down of our program. So we're
Johnny
glad
Mixer.
you've joined us. And so, what do we got going today, Harris Brando?
Well, we talked about it a couple times, but we've got.
Keep going.
It's always a dig at Dad. He says it all the time. We've got our normal things that we always bring in this first segment, so I'm not going to say that. And then we've got Mr. MacMillan, as I call him. Kenny. Yeah. He's here with the Gandy Dancer Festival that's coming in August 19th.
He's got the poster right there.
August 19th. Look at that. Remembered it. He's going to be our interview this week, and he is a wealth of knowledge.
About everything, Gandy Dancer, music,
History.
railroad. Hey, and just so you know, people are going to want to stay around for this because I've got more pictures of the construction that's going around Mazo. Plus, I'm just going to do, I don't know what you'd call it, almost a panorama of different things. It's just going to be just different odds and ends. People that I saw today, different things.
Guess who I saw today?
You going to save it for Mazomanie Sideways?
Yeah.
It'd be nice for
Oh,
you to be part
teasing
of
it.
that.
Wow, that was
I
good.
can.
Do that.
And then
make sure you
That
raise
should
your
be a
finger.
subsection of
Subfolder?
Mazomanie Site-Wise. Guess who I saw?
Oh, good idea. That's a good idea, Joseph.
But I don't know if that counts because it's not Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or
You
Tuesday,
can't-
creative
Nah,
day.
I don't like that. That's
Let's think about that.
I
though,
bet you
Hudson.
also that you guys caught the glare when Drew was flipping that up there. I don't think they could see it very well.
Here, look at you.
A gold tooth?
Catch the glare as my mouth kicked open?
Yeah, that's pretty flashy, Ernest. Pretty flashy.
I thought they could
we've
see
shown
fine.
it. We've shown it.
Okay.
It's a very
Yeah,
nice
it did
poster.
kinda
It's
glare a
all
little
around.
bit.
I
You're
just
right,
I didn't know
Joseph.
if you caught the glare though. When you,
Yeah. So that's gonna be really tough. to see.
Oh, I forgot to start the clock. Where
course you
are
did.
we? Where are we here?
Oh,
Just so
boy.
we know.
I was
25
kind of hoping
minutes
to see
in.
how long.
5.5 minutes in.
5 minutes. Okay.
And then we are gonna do name that state
Caught up
flag.
with things.
We haven't done that in a while.
Oh.
Looking forward to what
this is
Joe's
guess what part this is.
3 spot.
Oh,
You're the
yeah,
third
third.
third
The
and
third
final.
edition.
Closing it up with the best. We're
Well, not closing it.
This is the
This is
third
just part
edition.
3.
Of
I see. I thought this
When
was
you
the
only
third
put
part
10
of the
flags on there,
program
we had 50
today.
states. So that's only 30. We need 20 more.
Okay.
Nice. So that's what we got today, and we are going to get right into it. We're going to start out with Wisconsinites Weekly.
All right. Well, not much for Wisconsinites Weekly. They did start
Second half.
They did start
second
that,
half
right.
of
Summer.
summer school. And I was out there for one of the days.
You were right there in it.
What were you doing? Just helping out?
Yep. Just helping out. Yep. And then to Home Talent.
That was quick.
At Home Talent, we are at Wisconsin Dells, July 23rd. That's the final Sunday game until the playoffs start. That's at 1 p.m.
Can I go back just for a moment
Please do.
for Wisconsinites Weekly? It's kind of connected. When Mom and I take our walk through the Lions Club Park, we always take a look over to one of the high chairs, lifeguard chairs, and Scott Moore is in one consistently.
Yep.
Principal, but now lifeguard during the summer. He's all over the
he's
place.
a principal / lifeguard.
Yeah.
Principal lifeguard.
He's
Split right
into
betwixt
saving
those two
lives
jobs.
and educating. Anyway, back to Home Talent.
Yep. Then Thursday the 20th, we are at Dodgeville. That's a Thursday night game, 7:30 p.m. And then Tuesday the 25th at Reedsburg, 7:30 p.m.
Ooh,
Gauntlet.
Yep.
we can't get swept by those guys. Gotta figure out a way.
Don't even speak that.
You're gonna bring your Sunday team again.
It's rough.
That's what they're saying to us.
I know. Wow, not really. No, we didn't the one time.
They don't even know what the difference is.
Right.
That's the problem.
Anyway, that is all I have.
That was
but I
Wisconsin
guess
Weekly
I will
and
talk about.
Mazomanie Mustangs Minute.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And they were both about a minute
Yeah.
all together.
Yeah. Short and sweet. But yeah, I think that Scott enjoys doing the lifeguarding.
Does he?
I don't know. I haven't heard if he's had to save anybody yet, but
Does he? He's not there during the day because that's early in the morning. Like it must be for the swim lessons or the swim team or something.
I think they have.
Does he-
I think they have several options. The swim team does of like different sessions. I think they do an early morning session and then they do like a later session, like
Evening.
Right, but it's
session.
Scott. My question is lots of times, traditionally, you have like high school and college age lifeguards and lifeguardettes,
Yeah.
and so, but he's there early in the morning. I was just wondering if you knew. Does he stay in the afternoon and early evening to lifeguard?
No, I think it's more cost effective because I think they would have to have somebody, one of those high schoolers or college age kids come in and be a lifeguard during those times. I think like at 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever when
Okay.
they start the swimming. I don't know if
So he's
they
the
got
dad
any
of
interest-
Lily,
Yes.
who's on the swim team, and he
Barracudas.
and he just kind of
He volunteered. I
Okay,
think.
he
Yep.
volunteers.
I think they have several people that
Okay.
are able to do that. They took the course and so, yep. So thanks, Scott, for what you're doing. You're good at what you do.
Keep doing it.
Hey, just before we go to Mazomanie site-wise, just a little something here, and remind me to say this after, toward the end,
Again?
too. Yep.
Okay.
Say it toward the end, just as a reminder.
The end of the
The
podcast
whole podcast.
Okay.
We, according to my recollections or data, we have 197 Facebook followers now for the original Father Son Voiceover.
Thank you.
And 198 YouTube subscribers.
That math doesn't add up. Somebody's not
Remember,
doing both.
2 away from 200.
Yeah.
The 200th gets one of those T-shirts. Show them those T-shirts.
That's right.
If you're the 200th subscriber, we're giving you a free T-shirt. Value of $20.
Not only
You
that,
can't be tied.
but we're inviting you
Yes.
to the Gandy
Gandy
Dance for the
Dancer.
200th.
And we could even meet you down there and hand it off to you. This is the Adventures with Roy from Elroy T-shirt. So you could get that one if you're the 200th subscriber, just 2 away. So if you want to subscribe, everybody's rushing right now.
Everybody's unsubscribing so that they'll be the 200.
Yeah, maybe. But
Ty's
everybody's
doing that
rushing right now,
Can't do that, Ty.
to be the 200th subscriber, or they're waiting just a second. Oh. And or you could have that one, a baseball shirt. That's the original Father-Son voiceover podcast. So 2 away. The 200th subscriber gets a free T-shirt. You just have to let us know who you
Hopefully
are.
it's not. Hopefully it's not, because sometimes when they subscribe, they keep it private.
Anonymous?
That they can't.
Well, they'll have to tell us if they want it.
Your subscribe count will go up,
Right.
but they won't let us know who it is. So hopefully that person, that's going to be tough. They're going to have to come back and watch this episode. If they just subscribe, they're not going to know that they get a new shirt.
Maybe, or maybe what we'll have to do is if it's an anonymous one and they don't contact us, we'll give them a little bit, and it'll have to be the 200 first if they're the ones that let us know who it is.
We'll
have
move
to
it, send it on down the line. Is what you were trying to say.
Exactly.
Okay, I appreciate that.
That's it.
Oh, okay. So now we're moving on to Mazomanie.
You mean Slat-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, let me say,
So I thought maybe Joe would cover this, so I didn't even write it down.
Tough.
Because I think it falls more under the Wisconsin Heights Weekly, and I did not want to steal his thunder.
Do you want another try, Joe?
But
try to recall.
Nope.
What
I
the-
mean,
you know,
I'm a team player.
what's required
I
every
was
other
given a
year
sit.
is to get your sports physical,
Mm.
and you always had to go to your primary physician.
Not the general public, but you're talking about
Correct.
athletes.
Athletes, yep, athletes.
So I was gonna say I'm due.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
Anyway,
say me too.
so I saw that there is I don't know, there must be some sort of sports trainer or doctor that is willing to come to the high school and do the physicals
Wow.
instead of having to go to your doctor. And so Wisconsin Heights is having that coming up here soon. And I can't remember the date or the time because I just put it aside because I figured, but that is an option, which I didn't, that would have been kind of nice to have an option to do that because it was sometimes.
Did you say for free?
Huh?
Is that for free?
I don't know if it's for free, but it's.
Okay.
But
It's
then
an option.
You would
You
have
could just
missed
go to one
out
place.
on sitting in the waiting room for 45 minutes waiting for Grotty.
Yep, true. Dr. Grotti. Great when you were in there with him, not so much
tough
when you were
when you
waiting for
weren't.
him.
Yep.
Tough when he was behind schedule.
His nurses were always saying behind schedule. But he took
It's just a Tuesday.
took care of care of us well. So that
On to
not
the
really any
next.
complaints.
No.
All right, so we'll go with just a reminder that Glow Swim Pool Party is happening starting Saturday, this coming Saturday, I believe.
So a week from tomorrow.
Yes. It starts at 8 and goes until 9:30. $7 per person. $25 for a family of 4. $5 after that for any additional person in that family that comes. Maybe you could work out a deal if you've got 8. Because I think that's cheaper, right? If my math is
Sure
correct.
is. Yep.
Then we're going to go to the 22nd, which that should be Saturday too, I believe, right? Because it's coming out on the
Yep.
If it
It'll
is
It'll
Saturday.
be out on the 19th.
Quest Classic Rock at the Promenade Pavilion. They're doing music there.
How do you say it? You say promenade or promenade?
Promenade. Saturday.
I'm wondering if that's again a European thing. I think it's listed 2 ways.
Okay.
Well, then is it lemonade or lemonade?
Yeah, true.
Promenade.
So it starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. Free admission. Food and drink is available for sale. But yeah, if you think of classic rock, they play all kinds of the different kinds of classic rock bands and.
The cover band?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
That's a
head on down.
the promenade.
Promenade.
is taken care of by the Roystons.
Is Phil Collins a classic rock? Do you think he'd be classic rock?
I would think.
Yeah, he's got a
Especially now,
following.
yeah.
I think I saw Elvis and some of those ones that you would think of right off the top of
Yeah,
your head.
I think at one point maybe it was adult
The
contemporary,
Beatles,
but
would
no.
they be classic rock?
Oh, I would think so. Yeah.
But they're a little bit of a hybrid.
yeah.
They were a hybrid there.
Seems like maybe a lot of
honestly
those bands get
not
thrown
a
into the same
music aficionado
canopy.
like you are.
Not yet. You could be though soon.
Someday.
Yeah.
Not this Saturday, excuse me, not this Friday and Saturday, but the following Friday and Saturday, so the 28th and 29th of July, B-Style Floral and Gifts have their flower arrangement class.
Yeah, they mentioned that when we went to see that a walkthrough tour back a month ago.
Cost us $35 a person.
What do they get
I don't
for
know
that?
what that. Yep, I don't. I looked at that and it didn't specify, but I'm assuming that you get access to the flowers. That
So
you
I mean,
wow.
they're potentially teaching themselves out of business if they're not careful.
fair. Fair. Yep.
Because they're showing you the tips and
of the trade,
tricks
yeah.
Yep.
of the trade, and you know,
There's not going to be any tricks anymore. That everybody's going to know them.
Maybe what they're doing is showing everybody this
How to
isn't
not
as
do
easy
it.
as
Yeah,
it looks.
yeah, yeah.
So don't try this at home.
It's like painting.
Leave
They
that
can
to
show
the
you. They can
professionals.
show you all of the tricks and stuff like that they
Bob
use.
Ross.
They're
Yeah,
giving
Bob
him the
Ross.
Bob
You're not
Ross.
Bob
Yeah.
Ross.
There's like 5
In the
people
end.
that can paint like him.
Yeah.
That's why.
Showing a painting. Oh, that looks great.
The Friday class starts at 5 and ends at 6. The Saturday is 1 to 2 in the afternoon. 10 seats are available for each class.
Wow.
Limited
So limited
seating,
time.
yeah.
Or limited
Get them before
seating.
they fill up.
Yep. And that's all I've got for Wisconsin or Mazo site-wise. So I figured Dad probably would have at least some.
Let's start out with a tour around Mazo for the Mazomanie construction areas. Not a lot happening.
You're going to have to go to Todd. Go to his Outlook 365, Microsoft 365.
I don't think you can get on that with mine. Or
This
you're
is
on
ours.
yours. Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
Unplug this.
we're going to lose our signal here for a minute, so bear with us.
but we
Well-
won't lose our main
Train of
man
thought.
here.
I could go to I can switch. I can turn on a dime.
He can-
Listen to this. Let's leave that for just a second.
Okay.
Next, let's see, is it next week or the week after that? Anyway, coming up very soon on this podcast, not this podcast, but the next one or the one after that, we're going to have Wendy Sherman, brand new guest. She is the brand new president of the Mazomanie Lions Club. She's going to be here to talk about where she's from, why she lives in Black Earth, and yet she's the Lions
Benedict
Club
Arnold.
president. And a little bit more about the activities. Jim Schrader will be here. We're going to try to get him to talk about the Iron Horse Cornet Band's 25th anniversary this year, plus the MMC, Mazomanie Music Conservancy, and Callie Handel will be here, Handlebar Performance. She's going to be doing the chamber chat.
She's Aaron's wife.
Yep, Aaron Handels. Aaron from Handlebar.
She is here
Performance.
representing
And fellow classmate of mine.
the chamber chat
Yep.
for us.
Yeah, just a few other things before we get to that construction. Now, again, this is just. You got to remember to ask you too about who you saw.
Yeah.
Remember, so Dibdall Design Group is down where Mix It Up Fitness used to be, and they're getting things around. We happened to see Paul and Jill, the Dibdalls, the owners and senior designers of kitchen remodeling.
Down at the chamber meeting.
That's where their
we saw
that's where their showroom is now. It's almost ready to open, and so we'd like to have a tour of that sometime. They said stop down sometime.
Where were they previously?
They were in Middleton. And of course, Joe has a connection to the Dibdalls because he played
Maybe.
football and baseball with Stuart, their son.
Let's Stuart, do work.
Do work at all.
So and then I was taking a walk today, looking at these construction things, which we'll get to in a moment. And guess who I just happened to? It was the same spot, almost the exact same spot I ran into Dan Jurgens when I reported that back about a month ago. Ran into Bill Montalbano,
Oh.
and I said, "How you doing, Bill?" And he said, "Fine."
Oh. Yeah.
And
But
I
how
said,
are you really
But
doing?
how are you
Bill?
really doing, Bill? And I said, "Are you still working downtown?" He said, "No, I haven't for 5 years. He's worked from home since then."
Hi,
I said,
Bill,
"I'm
I'm
sorry.
Todd."
I'm sorry, I didn't stay up
Sorry
with
about
you."
that, Bill.
And he just had two knee replacements, not just recently, but he's
One on both knee-
walking
one on
around.
both
Within
knee.
those 5 years that you didn't know anything.
Yeah,
double
yeah. I mean,
anything.
I wave at him
Yeah.
regularly.
Oh yeah.
One on
Is it
each
double
knee,
on
or
each
was
knee?
it a double?
No, it's only.
Let me get a pen and pad here, Bill. I haven't talked to you in a while.
My apologies, Bill. I've not done a good job of staying. Are we ready?
Yes, but I also saw JC,
Okay.
Helmet-
Jerome
Helmenstein?
Helmenstein,
Jerome
and
Helmenstein, Jerome Charles.
saw Curtis Barsness
Oh, we
driving by.
CB.
And then also saw Dan Jurgens.
I saw Dan Jurgens too.
I saw Dan
Dan Jurgens stopped and
We
said,
saw him
Well, then stop.
too.
He kind of was
He
kind of a blow
walking.
by.
He was
that-
walking to
he
the
Kind of a
said-
blow by that he
remember
did.
to hydrate, he said.
Yep. So we did.
Keep going.
That's it.
Anybody else?
We also saw him. He was walking to the coffee house this morning. I don't know if you saw him.
Yeah,
but
I
saw
did.
him. We didn't.
Is this part of Guess Who I Saw? Is this Guess Who I Saw? Is that what the subsection
I'll have
of?
to rewind. It just came to me, and then I
Something
came up
like
with
that. Yeah, Jonathan, anybody you see this?
I saw Dan on Mr. Jurgens on the path. Not yesterday morning, but
Which
the morning
path?
before.
on the
Wednesday.
on the
Wolf Run Trail.
Wolf Run Trail.
We have
Wolf
a,
Run Trail,
a
yeah. multiple
sighting
Yeah.
of Dan.
Yeah.
Who
He's
did
all
you
over.
see?
Where isn't Dan?
I was running very slowly, so I'll say I was jogging up Midland, and I saw one Mr. Hinderman,
Oh, yeah, Mark.
UPS
Mark
man.
Hinderman,
Was he delivering?
and he delivered me a wave.
He
Nice.
gave us a peace sign
Yeah.
today.
Really?
Yeah.
Lucky.
You saw
We
him
pulled
too.
into the
then.
hardware
Guess
store.
what, Drew?
Yeah,
You
I was running up. I was running up that one hill up over there,
Yeah.
and I was really slogging. Again, I wasn't running; I was jogging or maybe fast walking. And he made a point to turn, and he put his head out like this.
Yeah.
Big time wave,
Which could have led to an
'cause I think
accident
he wanted to
probably,
be
but he
mentioned on
just,
the
he just kept
podcast.
driving.
Well,
That's
He
how good
drives
of a
safe.
driver he is.
That's Mark. He
I'll
drives safe.
tell you one
Safe.
thing.
That's why he's driving for
UPS
UPS.
is very lucky to have
Yes.
him because he's not only a great driver, great deliverer, but he is a marketing man. I
Yes.
mean, he's always friendly. He's giving
Yep.
people a peace sign.
Isn't that
waving.
what Mark is short for?
Market? Good. That's a good. That's a good. Guess who I saw sighting. We were at the chamber meeting, and I won't even tell. We saw a whole bunch of people. We saw Sue Dietzman. Oh,
Roy's barking.
Roy's
Roy
protecting the
Roy
place.
wants a little part in this too.
Your time is coming, Roy. And what else? Who else? Well,
Judy
I mean,
Curtis?
we could name.
Wasn't she down there?
She
No.
wasn't. Gail Harrop was there. She's also part of the Gandy Dancers, and all the illustrious board members were there as well.
Are there any Mazomanie members that are actual Gandy dancers?
No, there aren't. But is it the armchair boogie thing? There's a guy. Yeah, I think it is the headliner.
He's the guy that one of the guys that plays for one of the bands. He's a drummer, and that's not normal for bluegrass.
But he's from
Bluegrass.
Mazo.
Yeah,
One of these
he
people.
moved to Mazo.
Do you know what his
the
name
drummer.
was?
I can't remember, but
Kenny MacMillan talks
But
about
Kenny
that.
MacMillan will tell us.
Yeah, in
shortly.
an interview here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
hi.
Roy's
And
here.
Roy's here.
Hi there.
Hi,
He
come on
won't
up.
last.
Look, a
Come up here and
boy.
just. Oh, come here, Roy. You're early. Hey, come up here for a second.
up here.
Adventures with Roy from Elroy. Come on.
Come on,
Come on.
here. Oh, come on, listen to us. Come up here.
He better go down.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for Hudson to get back, because did the UPS man come?
No.
It might be Mark himself.
We should
He's
get him
getting
to
in.
come up here a second. He's busy though. He
probably
wants to get
can't.
home.
He can't. They've got him. They've got him on a tight schedule.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So anyway, we went to the chamber meeting. A couple of other notes. I noticed that it was Dan O'Connell, former guest
Mustangs.
here, and father of the Stangs, godfather of
grad.
the Sting. Yep. And it was his birthday, 67,
Yeah.
just this last week, and he and Debbie just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary.
Yep. Big 4-0.
Yeah, that was like the week before that or something like that.
You're right.
He told me
just-
they went out to Green Acres for their
yeah.
anniversary, which is a nice place to eat around here.
Yeah.
And just I know in July my folks are going to be having their 69th wedding anniversary. 69th
Grace.
wedding
Wow.
anniversary. Just a couple of other things. Oh, here's honestly, here's a serious one. I told you this was going to be far-reaching and all over the board, but our class, the class of 1978, Wisconsin Heights, is having their 45th class reunion.
Your class, really.
My class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically.
Well, it's my class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is
Right.
kinda
Yeah.
weird.
Everybody kind of says
You
that's
share with
Todd's
everybody
class.
else.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But anyway, I do for the last 5 reunions, so that's 25 years. I do share the responsibilities to find a venue and invite maybe former teachers and coaches and things like that. And I do that with Steve Michaelsberger and Sean Bollig. By the way, Sean Bollig lived right across from the old elementary school growing up, in the White House where Derek Smith lives now.
Oh,
Anyway, that's where he grew up.
okay.
Anyway, he told me we were preparing for our 45th class reunion up at the Riviera Bowl in Sauk. Not bowl, but bowl.
Bowl.
And he told me that he was at a long distance swim in Brookfield, and I think he was just done swimming, and he was coming out right by the CPR tent, and he had a heart attack there. And I'm serious. Had a heart attack, and he said he was legally dead for 7 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And he was so fortunate. Sean.
Oh, okay.
He's my age, and he was fortunate because there was a registered nurse there, and there was a CPR person right.
Wow.
That's where he fell. And so I think he had broken ribs. Is it possible he had broken ribs from falling or from the CPR? Maybe.
CPR.
Probably from the CPR.
Yeah. So
Especially with
that was an amazing. I mean,
his,
How long ago
his
was this?
thing of what
this was
being-
just. He told me about it just a couple weeks. It was just a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And he didn't have any damage to his heart, so the heart guys, the doctor said you could just, continue to do
Wow.
because
That'd be tough to get back on
it would
that.
be
Yikes.
strange.
I
You'd
kind of would
think-
want to
Yeah, exactly.
just lay low.
But
at
he
least for
does
quite a while.
Ironman things and stuff like that. He hasn't done it for a while, but he does these types of long distance things. Anyway, so I just thought I'd tell you about that. That's a little bit of a serious note. But now,
Now
we
it
have?
is. Yeah, let's get to
Do we
these.
have? Let's do this, and then we can go into
This is
our
Reeve and Emily.
Roy with Elroy. This is Reeve and Emily. And Hudson, did you talk to Fred Parman?
I did
about
talk
this?
to Ty,
And
yes.
what is this going to
So
be?
he told me that it's going to be 7 condominiums, and it's going to kind of look like a hat. So there's going to be the outsides are going to be one level
For maybe people
for that's wheelchair accessible,
Okay.
I think, or just no stairs and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And then there's
maybe
going to be
for a perfect
5
view.
units
It'd be
inside.
great if it just all went down.
Yeah,
for the koi pond.
5 units in the middle that are 2-story, supposedly. That's what I've heard. So people can buy
What kind
the
of
condominium.
hat are we talking about?
Well, a hat has a brim, like a top hat.
On both sides?
And it looks like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
So there's one
I thought you were
level
talking
on
about
this
like a
side and
ball-
one level
ball
on
cap
this side.
hat.
And in
I'd
the
like to
middle,
see that.
there's
okay.
So a stove.
So huge.
Wasn't
huge
those
hat.
like Abraham
Top
Lincoln
hat.
was
Yeah,
a
like a
stove
top hat.
I think it was.
yeah.
But you can see there
Long one.
they
2D.
had the forms are all they were all up, and they laid the basement there. They poured the basement.
Were you giving any tips on how to lay in the cement and stuff?
Nope. In fact, that happened. I wasn't even around when that happened, and it was probably fortunate because
They were pouring me up.
these guys seem to know what they're doing. I'm assuming they know what they're doing. So that's the construction. We're keeping an eye on that because, again, this podcast, as I've told you, is somewhat of it's becoming a historical podcast because when people drive by this place here 15 years from now, they say, I wonder what this looked like. Building and what was here before. We'll be able to tell them. We'll be able to show them pictures.
just some
Let
green
me
space.
show you.
Yep. So let's go to the next one.
Wick.
And this is the Wick parking lot. And all this again was parking lot, but now they have this green space that they're going to have, and they've gotten rain, so that's a good thing. So we should see some grass, and they'll be able to mow it this fall. And you can see there to the left, I think you were pointing at that, Joe. I saw some guys there actually to the left, right there. They laid that because they had torn up that berm kind of there, and they laid some more there since we've last looked at that. So every once in a while I'll take a peek at that, and we'll see as the grass grows and see how that starts to take shape. And then lastly, we have the
Family
area
Dollar.
with the Family Dollar. Not much has
All
happened
cleaned out.
there. That was just today. We're taping this on Friday, the 14th. So it was just this last Friday. So not much happening. Now, just real quickly, and demand the disclaimer right here. Keep that on for a second because I want people to see this. I'm not saying this is true. This is what I've heard. But I've heard that they maybe haven't even got an easement to get on. See, Highway 14 is not going to let them come right onto Highway 14 there for a driveway. the Family Dollar. That's what I've heard. So they've got to get an easement from some place.
Maybe
The only
from the bus
easement would be
barn?
from the bus barn, and whether the owner of that is going to allow them to do that, I don't know.
Pretty
but
penny,
I don't
maybe.
know if they didn't figure that out or it's all in the works or what. But I don't. But
Seems like a piece that's a fairly important
How to
piece
get to the
before
store.
you start
We're going to get
tearing
the store
stuff
there.
down.
People will figure it out
Yeah.
when they get here.
It's
So,
not, and
so
it can't be a
meaning
walking.
they won't allow like a right of way turn lane.
No, they can't because they've just
already-
done
yeah,
they've
they
just
did.
done it, and there's no left turn or there's no space, and I don't think
This right here, Drew, isn't a turn. This is you can't turn there in the middle.
right.
Yeah.
But it would be very dangerous. I mean, it probably took me 30 seconds, which doesn't seem a lot, but it probably took me 30 seconds to take a picture without a car or truck in that frame. There's just so much traffic on Highway 14. So, the Dollar General has Walter Road that you can come in and out of. And you also have a right turn lane to get onto Walter Road to go down to the north. So that's quite a bit safer. Where there's nothing there, and so I don't know, and there's no sidewalk even there, so it's not like it's not like you can have
And they
walking
don't
traffic
own
there.
and they don't own behind it either.
No, and I'm sure the folks that own behind it and alongside of it aren't going to want foot traffic through their yards.
Or vehicle traffic.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that's true. That's why we just report the facts or what we hear around town, and maybe this is all not.
Hearsay.
Yeah, that's why we did the disclaimer. So let me
All
see
right.
if I've got something else. That's it.
Wow, nice.
We did it.
Sorry, I had to go down and get a package. My computer a couple weeks ago went down, and I bought new parts for a new computer
for you.
So I had to go down and sign for it. So took a while. I haven't signed my name in a while. Anyway,
Are we doing the interview with Kenny
Yes.
after Roy?
oh,
Yeah.
we got to do Roy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, the exciting adventures with Roy from Elroy right here.
Roy's been walking these streets so long, howling the same old song. Roy knows every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Mazo, where hustler's the name of the game, and nice Roys get washed away like the snow in the rain. There's been a load of compromising on the road to Roy's horizon, but Roy's gonna be where the lights are shining on him, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a Ryan Dasher rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Get it, Roy.
Get
Get it. Get it.
from people I don't even know. And offers coming over the phone.
We got some rain the other day,
Oh yeah.
and so we get a lot of flooding down by our area because there's a lot of rain that comes from different areas. So we get some. It just kind of pools by our house, and so we took Roy out and played in the water with Roy, and when you splash him, he tries to eat the water.
Did you post those videos? We
Yeah,
have
I'm
those?
gonna send him to them on.
Perfect.
They already
People-
watched him.
people-
They've already
can know.
watched them. Yep.
Yeah.
People can know now. Exactly what
He,
you're talking about.
I went out there when it first started raining because he wanted to go out so bad. He's whining and complaining, and so I gave in to him. And I went out there and we ran around in the rain and the water, and I let him go into the street, which he's not usually supposed to be in the street. Well, he really liked that, and we went inside. I got him all dried off, almost completely.
Wow.
He wanted to go back out again, so I let him out. So he was,
What a great uncle.
and then he was, Uncle Fun. And he was going into the road by himself because I wasn't out there.
Oh, tough.
And so I was
That's not
telling him to
that's
come.
not so great.
No.
I know, but I let
Then
him
you
in
turn
there,
it
so
not
it
so
is kind of
fun.
my fault for being, You guys wouldn't have been happy about that, like the parents wouldn't be, but the uncle was just letting it happen. Yeah.
Not a whole lot else.
Yeah.
Just getting bigger.
Yeah, that's kind of happens.
He's very picky with his food now. Dad has set a
High bar
precedent.
for
Yeah,
him,
and
yeah.
we do too. We feed him food of our own sometimes, and he won't just eat his dry dog food by itself now. He's got to
Oh, he
have
does.
something.
No, he does.
He's
Yeah,
desperate.
he does.
Yeah.
Well, if Dad hand feeds it to him.
Yeah, or if he's he does.
We don't do so much snacking at our place.
No,
So
just when he goes to
Well, you guys try to feed him fruits and you try to feed him
nutrients.
carrots and stuff like that.
no, we don't.
All right, so
All right.
set it up again.
We have Kenny MacMillan from the Gandy Dancer Festival.
On
He
cue.
is going to be here on the couch all by himself. Dad and I will be here. But he's going to talk about all the events going on, and we're going to have him back when it gets closer to the time,
Nice.
August 19th. And he's going to do a little plug for it.
Nice.
So we're going to get you into that. And then after that, we've got Name That State Flag. So come back after talking with Kenny.
Check one, check twos.
Yeah, so
All right.
you've done interviews and stuff before.
Yeah,
I
I've
saw
done-
you on Channel 27. I looked on some
For sure. Yep. And my background before this, I actually taught middle school band, so I'm really used to kind of being in front of people and doing
Yeah.
things. So this is
Let's just bring that up. It's fine, but let's just bring it up just a little bit.
Okay.
If we can. Will that bother you if it's just right there? Then you don't have to bend over. Just forget it's there.
I can certainly work with that. And actually, I've done some sound recording work on the side too. So I'll
Good.
really used to be around microphones. I'll try not to shout too much for you.
Excited about. You want to test yours too, Hudson,
I
just
will.
in case.
Yep. All righty. And I'll give it a check one too. All right. Perfect.
So how did you didn't grow up in Mazo?
I didn't. No, I grew up in Wisconsin Rapids, actually a North Dakota native, but moved to Wisconsin when I was about 4. Few different places in central Wisconsin. Came down to Madison area in like 14, moved to Mazo in 16.
Okay.
And so I've been here since 16, living over near the feed mill on Kramer Street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So not far from the Gandy Dancer stomping grounds.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, it's actually, I can kind of see a little bit of the stomping grounds from my porch in the backyard. And actually, that's how I kind of first became familiar with the community. One of my friends invited me over for Gandy Dancer, and we came over for the festival. And that's really where I started to learn about Mazo. And then when I was looking to buy a house, Mazo came up in an option. So here I am.
Yeah. So you didn't, it's not like you moved with the Gandy Dancer Festival to Mazo because it's located here now. You actually moved here or was familiar with Mazo and then got familiar with the Gandy Dancer
Yeah,
Festival.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and with my background in music, I for a while was considering opening a music studio or lesson studio. So I had met with the village leadership.
Okay.
And that didn't end up coming to fruition really, but they let me know that the festival is looking for some more leadership and some people to be involved. And so I offered up my time and my background. I felt like it was a good fit. And after a year or so, I became the creative director, artistic director for the festival, and have been doing the majority of social media, booking bands, research, things like that ever since.
And I was wondering, I asked the question in my mind, I wonder what his title is or if they have titles. Now, Gail Harrop works with you. Is she just like a board member? Or is she something?
Yeah, we're fairly informal as far as titles go. We try to keep things as even as possible across the different members of the board to kind of distribute the work as much as possible. I mostly use the artistic director title just for when I'm reaching out to bands, so they know that I'm not just a random person trying to contact them.
Sure.
I think gives a little bit more weight to the email.
Yeah. I was thinking that maybe what we would do with this interview is just talk about first of all, the dates for the 2023, not go through the whole spiel, but then just highlight that. We can talk a little bit about the history because I really appreciated the history, the kind of bullet points you gave. That was very helpful. And then third, we can go back and kind of, go through the whole, shooting match as far as what's going on.
For sure. You lead me through, and I'm happy to answer whatever questions and just talk through it.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so full transparency, Kenny. I thought, what year was the first year that the Gandy Dancer came here again? Was it
2008 was the first year in Mazomanie.
2008. Okay. Okay. And so, we live here, just a stone's throw. We can hear it oftentimes.
Yeah, right.
But for several years, until somebody set me straight, I thought Gandy dancers were like cloggers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you'd never expect it. Yeah, it's really kind of an unusual term. It first came to be through a tool that was kind of known as a Gandy. Railway workers would use this tool in coordination, and as they're using it, it would look like they're dancing, and they became known as Gandy dancers. There's a lot of really kind of interesting lore behind it. People don't really know exactly where it came from. Some people think there was a factory in Chicago. Some people think there's a factory in New York, but none of these places have actually been able to verify who first created the tool, or if there's even a business called the Gandy company that created this tool. So it kind of became out of thin air, and maybe there was a company called the Gandy company at one point in time, but truly nobody's really been able to verify it. And now it's just this piece of railway history that is kind of, with Mazo being a railway village, kind of a really appropriate way to work in some history of the village and celebrate what we do here.
Yeah. So you're saying that there was a tool called the Gandy, or was that the person that used the tool?
They would sometimes call the tool the Gandy. Okay. The company was supposedly known as the Gandy Company.
Okay.
And the tool they used, they would sometimes loosely refer to as the Gandy tool or a Gandy. And it's just a kind of a loose, not exactly clear history, but it's kind of, so the more you dig into it, the murkier it gets actually, which is kind of fun. You don't expect a phrase like that to have a weird history to it, but it truly does.
Huh.
Yeah.
I had a question about is the Gandy Dancer Festival, is it unique to Mazo? Or are there other festivals around the Gandy festival, I guess you'd say, in another small town that has a railroad that goes through it or anything like that?
Yeah, it is actually pretty unique to Mazomanie. From the research I've been doing, I haven't found any other towns that are really doing a Gandy Dancer kind of festival. I think the closest thing, and coincidentally, is also in Wisconsin. There's a Gandy Dancer Trail that's fairly prominent in northwestern Wisconsin, and on occasion we'll get some emails misdirected our way that was supposed to go to them. And so I think if you search for Gandy Dancer Festival on Google, you'll only see the one here.
Interesting.
But the Gandy Dancer Trail was, I'm just trying to get the whole, and I know you say it's a little bit murky, the history and stuff, but I'm just trying to get so the Gandy Dancer Trail, is that the Gandy tool or the Gandy person that used the tool, is that always associated with railroad?
Yeah, it is.
It's a specific railroad tool.
For sure.
Do you know what that tool looks like?
Yeah, it's kind of actually on our logo, we have a Gandy type tool on it. It has kind of a claw, like if you imagine like a hoof on an animal that has two parts, and you would put that between the railway spike and jump up on the Gandy tool, and that would raise up the...
kind of like a crowbar.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly, kind of like a crowbar.
Something to leverage so you don't have to bend over and try to dig that out yourself.
Yeah, right.
And so you have on your poster here that we'll take a look at and talk through, you have like a banjo, it looks like, and then the Gandy tool. Got it. Crisscrossed there. Okay.
And we can take a picture of that and have Damon show that so people can see the whole list if they don't catch all of the dates when we talk about them.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
So why, Madison isn't, it's got the UW, it's got, the Capitol, the civic things, but it was a railroad town too, a railway town too.
Sure.
Why did they move from Madison? Just too big of a venue? Did it get swallowed up? What's the history behind that? Do you know it all?
Not a ton, but do know that the very first year they actually had train rides that were associated with it, and when they were looking for a new place to, I think, have a train parked for a little bit, it was on a similar line. They were able to kind of relocate things pretty easily over to Mazomanie. When it first moved here, there wasn't an intention to keep it in Mazo, but it kind of kept on happening, and now I think we're at this point in time pretty solidly we're going to stay here for I would say the extended future of the festival. I don't see any reason. And now I feel like the festival is now associated with Mazomanie.
Sure.
And it would feel weird to have it anywhere else now.
There was, and I don't know if that's the same thing, but I don't know, time goes by so quickly. 15 years ago, there were train rides that would go to Madison and back, I think. Was that part of the Gandy Festival?
And some of those trains went under repair and aren't available anymore. And from what I understand, there is quite a bit of funds required to get those trains around. So I don't think there's quite the funding to necessarily have that. Plus repairs made things unavailable. And it's kind of interesting. I just was shared an article with me earlier this week from the very first festival, and it was talking about how bluegrass was part of the festival from day one, and it kind of disappeared over a period of time and it was a little bit more of an Americana, but we brought the focus back to bluegrass in 2016, 2017, and if you are familiar with the history of bluegrass music, there is a ton of music in the catalog specifically about railway history, railway songs, and so the pairing of bluegrass and railway actually has quite a long history together. So I think it's kind of fascinating to dig into that too.
Connect together, huh? You mentioned funding. You were talking about the railroad funding because of broken down things and such repairs. How is the Gandy Dancer Festival? I mean, you have to have bands come in.
Yep.
You've got lots of setup. You've got organizational things.
Yeah.
Paper stuff and lots of. How are you funded?
Sure.
I saw that it's part of the Mazomanie Charitable Alliance.
Right. So you're correct. It is part of the Mazomanie Charitable Alliance, and the festival itself wouldn't happen without the help of a ton of really generous donors. I think in 2016, we actually did take a year off of the festival because there were some funding issues, and we kind of had to change up the model of the festival. And that's when we introduced the main stage admission fee, and we've brought the festival back to kind of being not necessarily, I wouldn't call it a profitable festival. It's something that is sustainable in the long term. So people like John Wick are, one of our main donors, and obviously does a lot of other things for the community as well. So it's the combination of some significant donations. Dane Arts is oftentimes a people we look to for some additional funding too, and we had another grant from the Dane Arts program this year. So donations, some grants, and kind of changing up the model to admission being charged for the main stage. So those three puzzle pieces really kind of have made us now to be a sustainable and in a healthy place for going forward.
Anything? I've got a bunch
keep
more.
Going.
Yeah, I was thinking. You talked about how the festival has slowly morphed into where it is today.
Yeah.
2008 was the first year that it was in Mazomanie.
Right.
And you talked about some of the things you had. If you can remember some of them, and
sure.
I'm not putting you on the spot if you don't. Like you mentioned some of them in the information you sent, some of the things that you used to do. I have kind of two-part question is what were some of those things? And then, kind of why it morphed into what it is now, why that happened.
Yeah, so I think one thing a lot of people are familiar with the festival is that we, for a long time, had a actual Gandy dancer that would come and do demonstrations at the festival, and all day long he'd kind of be just working on a little short, like 12-foot track of railway and doing demonstrations on how to use the tools and et cetera. That guy retired from his work, and it's kind of a dying art, so we haven't been able to find anybody else that does demos. There's a railway, I think it's a museum in Milwaukee. We've contacted the North Freedom folks. There's, I think, a railway festival in Kansas I even reached out to see if they knew anybody. We were really searching far and wide to see if anybody else could do that kind of a piece, and unfortunately not. For quite a while, we also had a model train group that would come and set up a big model train for little kids to kind of just play around with trains and kind of get interested in it. That went away in the early days of the pandemic. That group was really ran by a lot of older folks, and for obvious reasons, they weren't wanting to be in closed spaces doing trains with lots of kids at that point in time.
Yeah.
And similar with the Gandy Dancer demo, they're an older demographic. They've kind of stepped away from doing it, and so they don't have that same organization anymore. And so I think that's why it's been beneficial to kind of shift the emphasis a little bit over to bluegrass and kind of community celebration and getting other community organizations downtown to be featured.
If somebody wanted to give, or if they wanted to find out more about the history about the festival itself, or maybe the history of, the Gandy Dancer and all that, do you have a website?
Yeah,
or
for sure.
would that type of information be there, or could they go somewhere else, to your website plus, or what?
Yeah, so we do have a FAQ page about Gandy Dancers at our website, gandydancerfestival.org. I've also found a really good wealth of information about Gandy Dancers through simple things like Wikipedia. You can go on YouTube, and I think on YouTube, there are some really interesting videos of the songs and chants that they used to do when they were working on the railway. So I think that's, at the core of what Gandy Dancers are. So it's kind of fun to take that look back at what they did. And I think those are probably the main places I would think of to look for Gandy Dancer info.
Yeah, because when I think about going down there and being a part of that, there's something that stirs in me wanting to kind of find out a little bit more about. I know it's kind of focused the bluegrass, and there's an intertwining there, but just kind of the railroad is kind of always fascinated me, and so finding out a little bit more about that is interesting.
Yeah, one piece that I'm excited about this year is Brian over at the Mazomanie Free Library has been a really great new addition to the community, and last year he had a small display for Gandy Dancer history, and this year he's expanding upon that. And so I think that if people come down to the festival Saturday, August 19th, definitely go down to the library, look at that exhibit that Brian has set up, and you can get a little bit more in-depth history there. Some of the other things that I kind of am looking forward to doing over time are maybe having some video kind of loops, people where they can go into the library and get a bit of history that way. My background's in education, so I really think it's important to deliver information multiple ways. And so getting some videos out there, I think, would be a nice added bonus to teach some of the history of Gandy Dancers and how they came to be and how the festival came to be here.
I noticed the library has a little placard out there that's already announcing, and Gail Harrop was at the Chamber of Commerce last night. We were at the meeting, and she was handing out these
very nice posters, flyers.
Yep, and posters were designed by Stefan over at Mazo Print and Design, and another really excellent addition to the community as of late. So between Brian and Stefan, we're really getting a lot of community focused support to really help the event grow, which I find is really special, and part of why I moved to this community is things like that.
Any idea on? Is it a little bit hard to keep track of the attendance? Is the attendance growing? Is it dipping? Of course, you had the pandemic there, right? Squeezed, just a few years ago. You probably didn't even have one for what, a year or two?
Yeah, we took 2020 off for the pandemic, and I would say yes, attendance is growing overall. There wasn't much record keeping until in the past few years. Part of it, we pretty loosely organized group of folks, and we've really started to be a little bit more focused on data in the past 3-4 years. So we can show that attendance is growing. I think partly because of the focus on being a bluegrass festival. That word bluegrass is important. Prior to 2018, I think, it was just the Gandy Dancer Festival. We intentionally added the word bluegrass in there because there really is a large bluegrass festival, and oftentimes people would see Gandy Dancer Festival, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
And they would really have no clue what the festival is. And so by signaling a little bit more of what we are and what the festival is, that has created some more notoriety in the bluegrass world. And we've really by honing in on that and getting more national, local, and regional touring artists have become more regionally well known, more notable, and so I think a couple of small tweaks to branding and how we're talking about the festival has kind of increased attendance overall for the, I can't give you hard numbers, but it is.
Yeah. But as you said, the Gandy Dancer idea, the railroad and the bluegrass, it's not like mutually exclusive things. They have a connection.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not just an add-on to try to get people here. There's a real historical connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the original music from the Gandy Dancers were a lot of immigrant groups too. So I think that also speaks to the history of the country, and I think that's just a fascinating little piece to what a Gandy Dancer is and how music kind of became a thing. And if you keep on diving deeper into the history of bluegrass and how a lot of those immigrant groups really kind of shaped it, it's I don't know, it's all kind of a fun puzzle to put together if you've got time.
Yeah. Before we go on to this year, the 2023 festival, maybe anything else that comes to mind that you say, I really want to squeeze this into this podcast?
Sorry, let me. If I'm gonna look at my phone.
Yeah,
for 1 second here,
we're very laid back, so don't worry about it. We want to get information to people rather than being real
worried about technology being a
Yeah.
If you ever watch our podcast, I have, that we're never too
that we make a point.
Up.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think about the only thing I really haven't kind of jumped into is a little bit of how we do highlight not just Mazomanie as a community, but we try to highlight what we kind of think of as the gateway to the Driftless region with Cross Plains and Black Earth. And I think it's important to try and bring more people around. And part of that is highlighting each of those communities too. So we work with the Cross Plains Lions Club, and they're the ones that provide the mini train rides for all the kids. We bring in the Black Earth Children's Museum, and they are really excellent partners for doing the kids tent and providing family-friendly activities. And I think that's really about the only other point I haven't highlighted yet. But we really want to celebrate how we bring people together and highlight and celebrate what we do here.
So let's talk some logistics.
Yeah,
mean, for instance, it's in downtown Mazomanie at the Promenade.
Yep, down on the Promenade. The Westland Promenade, I know I always like to make sure he gets a shout out for the titling of that. The main stage is the Performing Arts Pavilion that we're really proud to highlight and showcase, and really grateful for the work that a lot of our community members did to bring that about. I know Jeff Worth did a ton of fundraising to bring that to be a thing. And so having that stage, I think, has just helped elevate our festival to another level. And again, that's another community collaboration with the Frank Lloyd Wright Architecture School over in Spring Green. We are a little. We also will have a bluegrass jam that is down in the community building.
Okay.
Well, at least it was last year. We might bring it back outside this year. So really primarily downtown. We touch base with a lot of our local businesses downtown to make sure they're open, and kind of we actually often hear that it's one of their best days of the year too.
Yeah,
because we bring a ton of foot traffic downtown for those folks.
Yeah. So if people come off Highway 14, either right or left, coming from the east or west, they just come down, and if they find the railroad tracks, if you come down the hill, then you're going to see lots of stuff going on. And are the events, the train rides for the kids and the children's little pavilion or tent, is that right along the promenade there?
Yeah, so most of it is right along the promenade. Some of it is on Broadhead Street. We actually do close off Broadhead Street.
Oh, good.
From early in the morning till late at night, so that way we don't have to worry about any sort of street traffic, and kind of just let it be a really kind of accessible space. And I think that's one of the other points that I have heard from other attendees, is that our festival is really quite an accessible festival. We don't have stairs. With the places that you want to go, you can easily access with wheelchairs, and I think we take pride in making it an event that people can easily attend and don't have to worry about lots of other stressors for access.
It's nice to have some good businesses downtown too that people can check out. Like you said, that's one of their best days. But in the past, the downtown hasn't been as lively as it is.
Right. Yeah, it's
now,
been really incredible.
The
past few years, seeing the revival.
So, as far as costs are concerned, the main stage for the bluegrass is what you're charging for. What about the children's events and stuff?
So everything else is free, totally free admission. I kind of think of it as a county fair where you can oftentimes get in for free, but if you want to go see the music, you have an additional fee that you have to go in to get into the main stage. And really, we only do that so the festival is sustainable. But yeah, if you want to do any kids activities, if you want to just come down to the Potosi rolling beer car and get a beer, you don't have to pay for a beer tent. You can just come down and get a drink, listen to the music on the side, grab a bite of food to eat, and just kind of enjoy your day down on the promenade without ever paying for admission to the main stage. So there's a lot of ways to enjoy the festival without feeling like you have to put down a bunch of money for it. We also do have kids for free admission. Don't quote me, it's either 12 or 13. I forget what we usually do for kids under that age are free for admission. And so, yeah, almost everything's free. Can't repeat that enough, I suppose.
Yeah. So there's food and beverages going to be down there, of course, and there's the downtown businesses, and some of them do offer food and beverages. There's the Potosi Rolling Bar. There's the Historical Museum, Mazomanie Historical Museum, that will be open that day. Also the library with the... I think.
The library will be open with the Gandy Dancer exhibit. And I think one new small thing that we're adding this year, and actually I'm a new parent this year as of February, and so we're proud to be having a lactation room, family nursing room over at the library this year. So if anybody does have really young kids and they're looking for a place to do some nursing or pumping, we're going to have some space reserved in the library for folks to do that. So I think that's just, another little piece of accessibility to the festival that's nice.
Congratulations on your new one.
We've had a couple people announce things with their kid. We've had some of our
it's
guests.
It's been ironic that people have announced having babies or that their babies were born.
Pandemic babies. We're going to look back in 50 years and see there's the next baby boom.
Exactly. So, and then there's the Midwest Microcar Museum, which is in the John Parman Blacksmith.
Yeah, I think we're really excited to have that again. The flood that we had in, I think it was at 2018, it shut them down for a few years, and we weren't able to kind of highlight them. And they're just off the promenade, so having them open again, I think it's really unique. You won't find anything like that around, and though it's not per se associated with Gandy Dancers, I bring it up often. This is about the community and highlighting what we have, and I think that's one of the really unique, cool things that we've got here.
And then the Wild Rumpus Circus is going to be open, I guess.
They're always kind of like a fun flair to the festival day, having their stilt walkers around or some of the circus arts that they do. And again, going back to the history of the railways, the Ringling Brothers had their first performance here, and the history of them getting around in the railway. So everything kind of ties into our railway history.
Lots of sights and sounds. So let's talk for the last few minutes about the schedule. And maybe you want to highlight some of the bands. And I know there's one gentleman who's a part of a band that lives in Mazo now. So maybe talk about that. Just feel free if you need this. You've got one down there.
I've got one down here too.
Maybe
notes. Slide it over if you can see it. So the I'll just go through quickly each band because I think each one has a lot to offer. We, in the festival, try to vary. So bluegrass has a ton of kind of little niche subgenres in it. And so we try to feature slightly different approaches to bluegrass. The first band of the day, Handpicked Bluegrass Band, is a fairly traditional bluegrass band from north central Wisconsin. And actually, the first two bands have kind of a unique tie-in together. The bassist for a Handpicked Bluegrass Band, it's a mouthful.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah, right. He played with the legendary Bill Monroe a little bit, and which is actually interesting because Mark Hembry Band, our 1 p.m. band, that gentleman, the band leader, was also a bassist with Bill Monroe. However, Mark Hembry had a really substantial experience with him, toured with Bill Monroe for 4 years, wrote a book about the experience, has things that he's done with Bill Monroe in bluegrass museums. And so his tie-in with Bill Monroe, if you're not familiar with him, being the father of bluegrass, much of what we know today is kind of thanks to Bill Monroe. So we have a true legend of bluegrass that'll be here at 1 p.m. with the Mark Hembry Band. So I think the kind of real pure traditional bluegrass, you get that flavor with Mark Hembry's group. they're really exciting. At 3 p.m., we've got Fox Crossing String Band. They're an all-female bluegrass band out of the Chicago area. And actually, they were our most requested band to come back from last year. So it was an easy choice to bring them back. They're really incredible. And I think, I think it's really important to have representation for women in bluegrass, because traditionally it would be a really heavily male-dominated music and genre, and so, but obviously, women have a lot to offer in bluegrass music, and this Fox Crossing String Band is a really great way to highlight women in bluegrass. So we're really proud to have them.
Did you see where they were out of?
Chicago area.
Chicago, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, got it.
Yep, they've been around since 2016, so relatively newer in the bluegrass world, but really kind of taking off. Especially the past few years, you've seen them in a lot of other local bluegrass festivals and getting a lot of popularity and notoriety. So excited to have them back again this year. At 5 p.m. is Art Stevenson and Highwater. And when you think of bluegrass in Wisconsin, most people would first name Art Stevenson as like the Wisconsin bluegrass legend. He is from central Wisconsin, which is where I grew up and first kind of became familiar with him. And they are just another incredible example of kind of the driving, high tempo, fast picking bluegrass that you'll find out there. One of Art Stevenson's, I think, most notable tunes is Orange Blossom Special, and he plays harmonica on that, and it's a train song, and he kind of mimics trains on it, and so again, another tie-in to bluegrass and train history. And then, our headliners this year, I'm really excited about them. Armchair Boogie is, in the bluegrass world, a little bit known as jamgrass or new grass. They're a really progressive bluegrass group, and this year they've got a drum set, which for our festival is kind of unique.
That last night, yeah.
I don't think we've had a drum set on stage for at least a few years now. Traditional bluegrass, for the most part, is banjo, mandolin, bass, fiddle, maybe some slight variations in that. And a lot of bluegrass purists will actually like put up their nose at a drum kit and be like, that's not bluegrass. But Armchair Boogie is really infectious and a lot of fun. They experiment with a lot of progressive bluegrass sounds, whether it be adding some pedals and effects to some of their sounds, but they are still bluegrass at their core. And as of a year or two ago, this is purely coincidental, but one of their members do live in the village here. And so I've kind of, long before that, actually been considering bringing them into Mazo for the festival. And so when I heard that one of their members, Denzel, their drummer, moved to Mazo, I was like, we got to make this happen. So here they are, and I think be ready to dance, be ready to have fun, because those guys are really known for a good following. And funny side note, the Sylvie venue in Madison released on Instagram a post that was their top beer sales for all of their events in like 2022, 2021. I can't remember which year it was. The very top band, Armchair Boogie. So, they bring a good crowd, and then people come to have fun and listen to them. And so I think it's people are going to really love what they're going to do downtown.
Nice. So there's starting at 11 a.m.
Yep.
Then they do basically an hour and a half.
Yep. Hour and a half, half hour turnovers, give folks some time to go get some food, go get some drinks. All of our vendors that we've got are local businesses. We have, the UCC Church doing their pies, which everybody's always really excited about. The 608 Community Kitchen folks help out with making some really incredible tacos. They usually try to get as many of our local businesses in downtown. And again, Potosi Rolling Bar is right there for folks to get a nice beer. If you haven't had their root beer too, incredible root beer. So I'd strongly recommend it. Yeah. About 2 hours. All the bands, so you can think of 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 and 7. And so, I think that's what is also kind of nice about the festival. A lot of festivals are these big multi-day events. You kind of have to plan an entire 3-4 days around them. Gandy Dancer's nice because you can drive up in the morning, be home at night. It's a one-day event. and really easy to get to from a number of different areas around the state. We draw a lot of folks from the Twin Cities, a lot of people from Milwaukee. So it's a good way to get Mazomanie on the map.
So it's Saturday, August 19th, 2023. It starts basically at noon with 11 a.m. the main stage. And then at noon, some of the other events take place, the kids events.
Right.
And
Noon
things
to
like
3 is really like the busiest part of the day when we have all the kids stuff going on. But for any bluegrass musician out there, even if you just pick it up to your instrument for the first time this year, we have a bluegrass jam from 3:30 to 5, and actually hasn't even made it on the poster because it's new news. Art Stevenson is going to be kicking off that bluegrass jam, and so if you want an opportunity to play with one of the bluegrass legends in Wisconsin, here's your chance. Like, you don't get this kind of opportunity every day, and so the bluegrass jam takes place in the kids' tent once the kids' tent stuff is shut down for the day.
Great.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. Great job. Here's maybe what we'll do, Kenny, is we'll put this interview / promotional information out. You can use it however you want. And then if you don't mind, maybe we'll have you come back a little bit closer, a couple weeks or 3 weeks before.
Yeah,
I know
sure.
we're getting closer, all the time, but maybe then we can just go back and highlight these again and put out another thing, because more promotion the better, and the more information, maybe a little different look and sound.
Yeah, I can tweak it up a little bit for the next time for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's so much to be excited about with the event, and I couldn't be more honored to be a part of it. And I think I said my background's in education, but I actually taught music education. I taught band in Wisconsin Rapids for about 4 or 5 years before I came down here. And I don't teach anymore, so I kind of look at this now as like an extension of my history and what I've done, and kind of still working to promote music and kind of try and educate the community about what bluegrass is. And
it's
great service. Go ahead.
Did we talk about where people can find? Aren't there like tickets and stuff like that they talked about last night?
Oh,
Or is that something? Maybe that's not something you want.
No, that's totally cool. We do have tickets available in. If you go to a couple local places, both at Mazo Hardware and the Mazomanie Free Library, those are $15 in advance or $20 at the gate. If you can't make it down to Mazo but want to get tickets, check out our Instagram or Facebook pages. You can find links to our online tickets. Those are via Eventbrite. Again, those are $15 online, but you do have a little bit of a processing fee if you buy them online. So if you can get to Mazo Hardware or the Mazo Free Library, you can get those tickets in advance and a little bit cheaper than online.
Sounds.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, no, I just remembered that last night from the meeting, and I thought maybe people would want to know what they're.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's a early bird special kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good to meet another Mazomaniac.
I like Mazomaniac. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, now we'll know one another when we see each other around town or whatever at the festival. So
yeah, absolutely. And I'm the MC on the main stage too, so you'll see me announcing bands in between and kind of promoting them as we get things going.
Well, we're going to for sure be down to do a little filming and stuff like that to try to
look forward to it.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Kenny. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Hudson here. That's Aaron. I'm over at Handlebar Performance, and you're watching the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast.
Welcome back. Thanks, Kenny, again for coming and joining us, and we'll see him again sometime soon. Now we're on to what everybody really wants to see. That's sarcasm. This is
Name That State Flag.
Here you go. Pass it around. I don't know for sure.
Who is this? John's? Is this John's show?
No, I'm just saying that I don't know for sure if you want to write them down. Or
I'm just asking. Whose show is this?
Joe's.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
You got one?
show is
You got
this?
one?
There you go. That's yours. This is mine.
I'll take another one.
All he needs that.
Play along with us.
Yep.
Get your pencil and
I need another
paper.
one of those sheets.
Unless you're driving,
Yeah, please don't do that.
don't drive distracted.
Can you get me another one? Joe needs one, I guess.
Yeah.
A what? Oh, a sheet.
Drew
Joe
dropped it.
got rid of all
you
of
go.
them.
Thank you.
All right.
How many of them are 10? You said, right?
Correct, Amungo.
Oh, there's
This-
10 we got to do.
This
I
is the first
do
flag.
terrible on this.
This is the first flag.
No.
So you're going to have to do a good job of cutting out some of the stats and sort of stuff like that, don't you?
Hey, listen.
I'm just letting you know that.
Okay,
We're just
so
trying to
we just need to
prepare you.
get on this. That's a flag.
This is a state flag. Oh, I got to remember which ones we've done. That's the problem. It's been a while.
I don't think you will.
No, I won't.
I don't
You're
think it'll
right.
matter.
Let's do.
I'm going to give you 15 seconds for each one.
Got it.
Everybody
Locked in my
good?
answer.
Yep.
Sure.
All right. This is
Can we guess?
Alabama.
Oh, I got it right.
I'm terrible.
Yes.
The official state flag of Alabama was officially adopted in 1895, February 16th, 1895. Alabama's flag design is crimson St. Andrew's cross on a white field, controversially patterned after the Confederate battle flag and adopted in 1895. The bars forming the cross must not be less than 6 inches broad and must extend diagonally across the flag from side to side.
Nice.
Next one.
The next one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This one looks familiar.
That's the drinking gourd, I think.
Yes, follow the drinking gourd.
8.
With the North Star being the Big Dipper. Actually, at the very top of the moon. I don't really
None of these make sense to me at all. I don't connect at all.
That's
I've
no way that
lost.
that's right.
I think I've gotten one right out of 30 states or something like that.
All right, time's up.
second,
Hold on
one
just a
second.
second.
Oh,
Time's up. Hold on. No, just a second. I don't even have a guess.
No, I'm okay.
I don't like any of this.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right.
Alaska.
Alaska.
Get out of here.
I said North Carolina.
I said
and just
West
I got two
Virginia.
right.
Officially adopted May 2nd.
You got them both right?
1927.
That's because
No,
he saw
I
him.
saw the first one. I knew this one.
Okay.
So -1.
Oh, okay.
Officially adopted May 2nd, 1927. Alaska adopted the flag for official state use in 1959. The blue field represents the sky, the sea, and mountain lakes, as well as Alaska's wildflowers. Emblazoned on the flag are 8 gold stars, 7 from the constellation Ursa Major, or the Big Dipper,
There
or
you
the
go,
drinking gourd. The 8th being the North Star, representing the northmost state.
Oh, I like that.
Is there? Are they?
If I just would have known
They
the
didn't
symbolism.
take anything off of those, right? That's how it looks exactly, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Next one.
Oh, I've seen this before, but I don't know it.
Timer starting now.
Done.
I wish I knew.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
All right.
When you put so much-
Arizona.
Yep.
Arizona.
Idiot.
When you put so much pressure on me, I can't remember the
What'd you do,
states.
Dad?
New Mexico.
Oh, we already did
Oh,
that
you're
one.
close.
Well, I know that, but I
Listen,
can't even remember.
That's the Aztec one. Come on, even I remember that.
Officially
And 3 for 3.
adopted.
I said North Dakota. That's tough.
Officially adopted February 17th, 1917. The Arizona state flag, which is the official U.S. state flag of Arizona, was officially adopted on February 27th, 1917, just 5 years after Arizona became an official U.S. state.
Oh, another official.
In the zona.
Oh, I don't know.
This
if I know
one's
this
tough.
Oh, how many stars are there?
Yeah.
Is that 50 stars? No.
Locked and loaded.
I'm going to go with this.
25 are in there.
Oh,
hold on,
25th
hold on, 25th.
state.
25.
That narrows it down to me. Right here.
Now let me just count backwards real quick.
Okay. I'm just
No, hold on a second.
I'm just checking that it's wrong right now. I don't even put it.
Two.
It's correct.
1.
No.
Arkansas.
I thought about
Did you
writing
get that right?
Arkansas. Nobody's going to believe that because I'm so
All right.
bad at this game.
Officially adopted
4 for
February 26th, 1913.
Did you say you saw this one? This whole.
saw
this whole
Alabama.
That's
test?
the
That's it.
entire test.
No, I saw
just saw this
Alabama.
one test.
Yeah, I just saw this one test.
Well, that's even special that quickly you could remember all of them.
Well, maybe.
Go ahead, John.
Sorry about that.
3,
Officially adopted.
2, 1.
Officially adopted February 26th, 1913.
February.
The state flag of Arkansas was officially adopted in 1913. The flag's design depicts a diamond on a red field It represents the only place in North America where diamonds have been discovered and mined.
Mm-hmm.
The 25 white stars around the diamond represent that Arkansas was the 25th state to join the Union. The top 4 stars in the center represent that Arkansas was a member of the Confederate States during the Civil War.
Okay.
The other 3 stars represent Spain, France, and United States, countries that had earlier ruled
territory.
the land of Arkansas.
Did you get that right, Drew?
No.
Too bad.
I knew this one.
This one's easy. This is the one I was waiting for.
Oh, okay. I think I might have this right.
This is my favorite part.
I think we all have
Ready?
it written down, Joe. Yep.
California.
Juan.
Finally.
Another one officially adopted in February 3rd, 1911. The state flag of California was officially adopted in 1911, a few years before California was admitted into the Union. A small group of American settlers marched on the Mexican garrison, took the commander, Mariano Vallejo, prisoner, and raised
You hearing that?
a bear flag at Sonoma on
Carcinoma, yeah.
on June 14th, 1846. They issued a proclamation that declared California to be a republic independent of Mexico. This historic moment had come to be known as the Bear Flag Revolt.
The Emancipation Proclamation was a proclamation is what it was.
What was it about?
About emancipation, what do you think it was about? What was it about? Use your head, man. It's common knowledge. There was these folks, and how else was they going to get themselves emancipated unless there was a proclamation? So they got themselves a proclamation, and they called it the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm surprised at you for not knowing that, Andy. And I'll tell you something else. I'm even more surprised at you thinking I don't know about the Emancipation Proclamation.
Hey, is the UC Berkeley, California University?
They're the Bears.
They're the Bears. And how about the UCLA Bruins?
Bruins.
They must have a lot of bear there.
They did.
Yeah, they
Grizzlies.
do.
Got it.
Remember when we did our,
Remember when we did
our
Yeah.
state fun facts?
Where they wrestle the
Drew.
bears and stuff.
Yeah, you can't.
No,
can't.
that's
that was down in
southeast.
That was
That's
like
like
Alabama or something like that.
Hey,
I
I'm
think it
one
was
for
our first
5.
one.
He's trying to
already
bring
done.
down
Oh,
the bear.
oh.
Oh, this one's familiar too.
Is that C for the name, you think?
I don't think so.
Where is he? What's he doing in there? What's he doing? Experimenting. He's trying to grin down a bear. Grin down a...
Oh, this is tough.
There's 2 good gifts that Devon could use in there. He could use the proclamation.
Well, it was a
gift
declaration
from,
proclamation.
yeah.
And people might
They
want
could
to
also
count
use
how
the
many
Davy
times
Crockett.
Joe uses official or
yeah.
officially over
Well,
the
he's-
next.
I think he's omitting them now. Seriously.
This
I
isn't.
can't.
This
He's beginning
isn't.
to omit
This
them.
isn't my language. This is from the
Clearly.
website I used, which you'll
Wait
see
a
on my
second
works item
here.
page.
3.
Okay, here we go.
Colorado.
Oh, you got it.
Well, it
I
was
gonna write
C.
down Colorado.
You were not.
No,
I
I
put
was. I didn't
Connecticut,
write
but I knew
anything
we had
down.
had that
Joe
one
That sounds
already.
like that's nothing.
Tell us about this
wait.
flag of
I gave
Colorado.
you like 30 seconds.
I said just wait one more second. I was gonna write it down. I was just gonna go with my gut.
write it down.
And I get no because I didn't get it.
But you also in there said that C does not.
I wasn't being serious.
Okay.
Officially adopted June 5th, 1911. The Colorado
Officially.
state flag was adopted in 1911 by
He
the.
omitted officially.
Yep.
It's not his fault.
Just,
That's the problem.
just use it so people can
Yeah.
people can
No,
laugh
it's not the
along with us
problem.
now, Joe. They're not laughing at
I
you.
am.
We're
I'm
laughing next
not
to
omitting
you.
them. I'm
You just did.
I'm reading the script. The
Yeah,
script's good.
you
No, I
just
said the Colorado. This is what it says. It says it verbatim. You can look at it. The Colorado state flag was adopted in 1911 by the General Assembly.
You said officially. You missed officially.
It says officially adopted. That's going to be on everyone because that's the
That's
the
what
header
you
of
were
it.
reading it
language,
before.
that's the language.
You
That's the
kept
official
reading it
language.
before.
Yeah.
It consists of 3 alternative stripes of equal width and at right angles to the staff. The 2 outer stripes to be blue of the same color as in the blue field of the U.S. flag, and the middle stripe to be white. The proportion being a width of 2/3 of its length.
Oh, that is detailed information there.
Our trans
That's quid or qui.
Qui
Trans-
Oh, I got an hour. I got a big glare here.
I'm 6 for 6.
Oh boy.
I'm 6 for 6, Dad.
Boy.
Those are
I'm
vineyards.
1 for 6.
Or
I'm going up.
Amaras.
I'm going up.
What's
up
Are
east.
those like lemon
Grapes.
things there? So,
And
what grapes?
I bet you those are marigolds.
Maybe
They're
they're
dandelions. They're dandelions.
maybe they're what are those lemon heads?
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Adoption date.
I didn't see it. What did it hit?
What is it,
I'll read
Joe?
it to you. Adoption date.
It's a no name.
September
No, no,
9th,
what is it?
We don't even know what-
1897. The
What-
Connecticut state flag
Oh, Connecticut.
was officially
It
adopted
doesn't
in
even say it up there, though.
1897
I said Delaware.
on an azure
Did you?
blue
I can't remember
background.
what I so hard.
The Connecticut state flag shows an ornamental white shield with 3 grapevines, each bearing 3 bunches of purple grapes. The state's motto, you can read it for yourself, "He who transplanted sustains us."
He who?
He is displayed on a white ribbon. The vines stand for the first settlements of English people who began to move from Massachusetts in the 1630s. These settlements were thought of as grapevines that had been transplanted.
Huh.
There we go. There's another one. What does that say up on top of there?
In God we trust.
No,
At the very
on
top.
top.
It's just a bunch of Latin.
Okay. Centennial or something?
It doesn't have. It
I think it
doesn't.
says celebrate
13.
good
How many-
times. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many stars are
Chicago,
there?
or not
18 probably.
Cool in the gang. Yeah.
Let's see.
13.
13?
That's what I'm counting.
Okay.
One
I'm
second.
gonna
13
say-
stars.
Hopefully I didn't get that wrong.
Did we already
I got
do
13
Maine?
as well.
Nope.
I can't tell you.
1 second, Joe.
I'd like
Don't,
to. I'd like
don't
to tell
do
you.
it.
I'd like
Don't
to
do
tell
it.
you, but I just can't.
I'm set because
I am
I'm
too. I'm
not
not.
going to win this, but I'm not even come close to winning.
Gotta
Ah,
with
we
your
already
gut.
did that.
That's
We already did that. We already did
Colorado.
that.
I don't know how you remember.
I know.
Remember, we should have a list.
I
Okay.
think.
Okay. Georgia.
Oh, Georgia?
I guess Delaware again.
I'm just going to say
Trouble.
the same one over and over again.
I'm starting to.
I was
All
going
right.
to say Rhode
Starting to
Island,
fall
but I
off
think we
here.
did that one.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
I got the next one.
Yo.
I didn't see it. I could have had.
Georgia state flag
I guess I'll have to go
officially
3 for 3 on
adopted.
that one.
Georgia state flag officially adopted May 8th, 2003. The current version of the state flag of Georgia was adopted in 2003. Previous to the current design was a design that had incorporated the Confederate flag. The Georgia flag has 3 red and white stripes and the state coat of arms on a blue field in the upper left corner. 13 stars surrounding the seal denote Georgia's position as one of the original 13 colonies. On the seal, 3 pillars supporting an arch represent the 3 branches of government: legislative, judicial, and executive. A man with a sword drawn is defending the Constitution, whose principles are wisdom, justice, and moderation. The date 1776 represents the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
That's a lot in that flag.
That was a lot.
Next,
That one looks a lot like.
December 7th, 17. Oh, there's another East Coast one.
Second to last one here.
Huh?
Second to last one. There's a ship there. There's a police officer's badge
There's a.
with a cow on it.
Go ahead. I'm right there with
Is
you.
that
That's
a?
how
Is
you
that
got
a? Is that a?
Did everybody guess?
Yep.
Yeah.
Delaware.
Delaware.
I cheated. I saw that.
I did too. I'm taking 2
I
off for
took that-
myself.
that was a
means-
gimme.
That's President Biden's hometown, isn't
That
it?
means I
Home
had.
state.
That means I have 3.
I got 2 off.
I'm
I
counting
did
mine.
Delaware 3 times.
That's not on me. I'm counting it.
I'm gonna be an honest person.
On
I
to
was,
you to-
I was
Joel.
gonna do it 3 times. John doesn't. Not gonna matter because you have just so many
Yeah,
right.
I'm just not taking the first or the 9th one.
But you've still got 5 right, don't you? Without those.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
All right, Joe, please, can you hustle this?
So none of us can beat you unless you take another one off.
Yep.
Officially adopted on July 24th, 1913, the Delaware state flag has a background of colonial blue surrounding a diamond of puff color in which the coat of arms of the
I was
state
wondering if that was
is placed. Below the diamond are the words December 7th, 1787, indicating the day on which Delaware was the first state to ratify the United States Constitution.
Wow.
Learn that in our
Yeah,
state
that's
facts.
right. Good.
Is that the same day as D-Day? Or is that December?
December what?
December 7th?
No, isn't it
5th,
June?
December 5th.
December
Well,
6th,
you're talking about
December 6th?
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's what I meant.
June 6th.
I meant
December
Pearl Harbor.
7th,
Yeah, December 7th. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Because of this action,
1941.
Because of this action, Delaware became the first state in the Union and is therefore accorded the first position in the national events such as presidential inaugurations.
Oh, that's why they do that. Okay. Didn't know that. All right.
Last one.
Last one. That's 1818
down here.
Wonder why 18.
Maybe it was when we bought it.
1868.
Maybe we bought it, and that was when it became a state.
Bought it?
From
whomever, huh?
They bought it.
Your
Yeah.
fast
They
when
bought
they
it from the
renewed their
French.
vows.
French.
Let's see. That's not that old.
Sovereignty, national union.
Why is sovereignty
All right.
upside down?
I'm good.
1 second.
I'm not. I really have no.
Why is sovereignty upside down?
Well, wouldn't
right.
you be upside down if you had an eagle just tearing you apart?
Ready?
No,
Yep.
no.
That's a olive branch again.
He's extending an olive branch to you, I guess.
Go ahead. I said South
way off.
Carolina.
I said Kansas.
I
I
said
know which
Missouri.
one Kansas. I
Flag
had one right.
officially
Those are-
adopted June
even see us.
27th, 1969. The first Illinois state flag was officially adopted in 1915 but was updated in 1969 when the word Illinois was added to the flag. The state flag is a simple representation of the state seal of Illinois The state flag is a simple representation of the state seal of Illinois against a white background. The state's name was added to the flag to ensure that people not familiar with the seal would still recognize the banner.
Fair.
And that's my works cited.
And that is.
Thank you.
I think so.
Name that state flag. Thank you, Joe Bob.
And your works cited. I like that.
That's a
Yeah,
Good job.
that's so that nobody steals it from me.
Well, you made it through episode 66. We made it through episode 66. We thank you and bless you for coming and watching. And we thank Kenny MacMillan for taking time out of his day to tell us more about the Gandy Dancer Festival.
Thanks for the 1855 Coffee House that
yes.
sponsors us. 10% off. All you got to do is say you watch those guys do that thing, and they'll give you 10% off food and beverage.
Did
What
you
is
have
the,
one last thing
200
that you wanted us to
subscriber.
do?
200
200
subscribers.
subscriber, yep. If you're the 200 subscriber, you get a free T-shirt. But you got to be somebody that's not anonymous. So
You
if
know,
you're-
who should be the 200 subscriber? Jason Schreiber, or Hans Schreiber. Because then he could
The
introduce himself
subscriber,
as
the
I'm
subscriber.
Hans Schreiber, the 200th subscriber.
That's
Nice.
a good plan.
Yeah.
Subscriber.
Yep. There
I
they
think it
are.
was just fine with the way Drew said it, but
And then just take us out of here,
Shushan.
Hudson. Take us on out of here.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on the original Father Son Voiceover podcast.